call to order the meeting of the regular select board meeting for February 23rd, 2022. And do we have any adjustments to our agenda?
No.
No. Okay. So next would be approval of minutes for February 9th.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of February 9th.
And I'll second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of February 9th. Any discussion? I did notice that,
David's last name's not spelled right.
oh, well, there's that, but he's also listed as the chair. So, dude, if you're going to walk the
Hey.
walk,
Wow.
walk the talk.
Anything
Yeah.
on this is her fault.
Wow.
Okay?
I don't do minutes, sorry.
It's her fault. Isn't it?
So we can change that.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about that. Just, you stepping up, David?
No, I'm not. I'm stepping down. You know that.
All right, so it's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes as presented. A couple little corrections, but nothing of substance. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, good. Next would be warrants to the treasurer.
I'll make a motion to approve and execute the warrants to the treasurer as presented upon completion of review.
I'm going to miss having you say that.
Oh, you are?
And do you second?
I do second.
What was that?
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded to approve and execute the warrants to the treasurer upon completion of review. Shall we review, Karen?
Certainly. So payroll warrant dated February 25th, 2022 in the amount of $25,731.59.
That's higher than usual, isn't it? What is there?
Yes.
I'm not questioning it. I'm just
Yeah.
wondering, is there?
So there's some first responder training in here that were larger than normal,
Okay,
and there's quite a few.
sounds good. All right, AP.
Oh, yeah. Moving along. So accounts payable dated February 12th through February 25th, 2022 in the amount of $70,012.75.
Can I make an interruption for a second? I'm getting a little bit of feedback, and I think it might be from Cassandra's speaker.
Cass's office.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear it too.
It's just
I don't know. It's a
the
little-
background noise.
Yeah, it's just a little distracting.
It might be because she has her speaker on.
Okay. All right.
Is
Um,
that mutual aid? The
Oh,
3330?
yeah.
Okay.
So Southwestern
Oh, okay. Yeah.
New Hampshire
Yeah.
mutual aid, $33,389. That's for the entire year, but they bill calendar year.
Mhm.
So what we'll end up doing is doing a journal entry, and we like prepay half of it for 23,
Okay.
and then the other half comes out of the 21. It's really weird. We're gonna have to try to see if we can get that on a fiscal year. So that's something Tom's gonna have to work on.
What's what's jet service?
Debt service.
No, jet.
Oh, jet service. Those are envelopes.
And LHS Associates? I don't recognize that. Is that Slice? No.
No, it's not. LHS, I don't know what that is. Hang on a minute, I can tell you. It's right here. Oh, ballots.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah. And the envelopes, the jet service were envelopes for the ballots.
I imagine the postage was part of that as well.
To the
Yes.
postmaster.
Okay.
And just to let the board know too, so we have a bulk mailing stuff for town reports. And apparently we've been getting quite a bit of a deal for the last 3 years or so. We did not this year. So we expended about over $700 to mail town reports.
And why didn't we get a deal this year?
Because the town report was a little bit heavier, so jumped it into the next, rate category.
Yeah,
So in the future, we'll have to, shorten it.
Yeah.
Or decide, we sent town reports out to every registered voter. So, and if there was like 2 people in the household,
Right.
they got 1.
Yeah.
But,
okay. Well,
it is what it is.
certainly important, yeah.
Right.
So, all right, so anything else?
I'm good.
It's been moved and seconded to execute and approve the warrants to the treasurer as presented upon review, and we have reviewed. So if there's no further discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, good. So next would be public comment on items not on the agenda.
We do have public comment tonight.
Laura and
So, Laura Chapman, I'm here on behalf of the Wyndham County NAACP, and Anne is representing the Putney Equity and Inclusion Committee.
good.
And in honor of Black History Month, the NAACP purchased this print from Justin Altman.
Excellent.
It's to commemorate the work that was done by the Wyndham County NAACP and the Putney Equity and Inclusion Committee. And we would like to present it to you, Josh. And
Thank
maybe
you.
you'd be willing to accept it and take a picture with us.
Yeah. Happily. And can
And
we,
Justin's here to actually take a picture of his picture. And just a little plug for Justin, if anyone's interested in these prints, he does have more.
Where would
you
you
in
like
on
to
this
stand?
too?
I have to take a picture.
Picture of the
Why
picture.
don't you let me?
What about the rest of the board?
I don't need to be in a picture.
Oh, come on.
All right, look right here.
I wish I could take my mask off.
Yeah.
I know.
Perfect.
Do you want me to jump in for one?
Yeah.
Can
Big fun
You're
doing
almost-
this. Look at you, you look great.
We're all smiling.
See it in our eyes.
Great.
Thank you.
So there's a plaque currently being made up for, but we wanted to present it before the end of Black History Month.
Good.
We will get this back to you.
Great.
Thank you.
I just, sidelined, but I was just listening to NPR on my way here, and they were talking about the protest after George Floyd was shot, the protest in LA that was one of the biggest protests in LA history. People during the pandemic masked up and marching a mile-long protest, just amazing to hear about all sorts of positive things that are going on with this stuff. So
Yeah.
thank you, and
Thank
thank
you,
you both.
and thank you for the ongoing
all your
work in Putney.
Yeah,
Thank you, Laura.
I will bring it back.
Yeah, we're gonna do it right there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
thanks, Justin.
And
See ya.
This is Swift. I just want to say next week or 2 weeks from now, we are on the agenda to talk about next steps with the mural and what Putney's commitment to this work looks like. So for those of the people that are watching or hearing it 2 weeks from now, we're on the agenda.
Perfect,
Okay, cool.
thank you, Swift. All right, other public comments on items not on the agenda? I don't see anything. You got anything, Karen?
I do
You good?
not.
Okay. So next would be town manager's report. Do you,
I have a small one.
okay, good.
Let me just find it. So reminder, comments are due on the hazard mitigation plan by March 1st, which is Tuesday. Property tax revenue. So as you know, the last day to pay the third payment for property taxes was on Friday the 18th. At this time, for this year, we still have outstanding $301,381.22, and delinquent on previous years $41,783.78. So that's a total of $343,165 in outstanding property taxes.
How does
So
that-
just to put that in perspective, that 41,000 is quite low. The 301,000 is very high.
Right.
Yeah.
Just to let you know, the third payment, what we have outstanding right now is $217,283.99. That is higher than normal,
Yeah.
higher than what I've seen it.
Yeah.
Since I've been here.
Yeah.
Normally we're between, 100 and 150,000.
Yeah.
So I'm a little concerned, but
Yeah.
not like, oh my God. More money it'll continue to trickle in.
Yeah.
What I'll be doing after town meeting is going through, and letters will be going out to people who are 2 years in arrears. Anyone 1 year in arrear, like back to 2018 or something, they're gonna get a letter as well. So our policy states that 1 year in arrears, they can go to tax sale. I've been very lenient.
It's not the practice. But
Right.
it's-
It's not the practice, and
Yeah.
I've been allowing 2 years, but if somebody owes taxes from 2011 through 2019,
Right.
even if it's 1 year. And I know people have agreed to tax agreements, and they're not, honoring those people as well. I'll be looking at everyone. We've said in the past, if you're having a hard time, contact the office.
Yes.
We can make payment arrangements with you. I trust everybody. There are programs out there too right now. The state has offered programs. If you go to the Facebook page, they're on there. They can help you with your property tax payments. So if you're in arrears, I suggest that you start looking at this and call our office, please.
Yeah, and just to remind, I don't know whether you've been part of this conversation before, Eileen, but we have talked periodically about that 2-year period of then having the potential to send to tax sale. The upside of that is it feels like it's fair to give somebody 2 years. The downside is it allows somebody to get really far behind.
Right.
So I think what Karen just said is super important. The sooner you can work with us to get this under control, the better off you're gonna be, honestly, because it's a slippery slope. And
Right.
as we know with the third payment, it tacks on an 8% charge, which is a big penalty.
Yeah, so the penalty just on delinquent for this year was over $22,000.
Was that where we get up to the 300?
What was that?
You had an initial figure of 300 something. And
Yes.
the actual outstanding was below that. So
217 and 44.
Yeah,
Yep.
From the previous year.
okay.
Yep. So it's on, just this year, so payment 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
So it was a total of $22,266.08 in just penalties.
But then penalties add up at 1% per month per year.
Yes.
So it grows quickly.
So,
And part of that is to encourage people to get it paid as quickly as possible. But, it also gives us leverage. I mean, that's sort of the same thing, but it gives us leverage to ask people to do that. So, but we can work with you.
Yes.
And we're willing to. So
Yeah.
please, if you need help, we can also, as Karen said, guide you to places that might be able to help you. So,
So,
Curious if the large number of land and home transfers in the last year have any piece of this, and new taxpayers and the timing of paying taxes. and wondering if that's any piece of it, and that's just a curiosity.
Yeah.
It helps
Well,
us in any way.
I mean, the assessed value doesn't change with the sale price much.
Not in the value, just in that we have new taxpayers,
Yeah.
and maybe they're not paying on time.
Maybe not.
I don't know. But
Well, I can tell you there's one in town that just transferred and, they owe like almost $13,000 and, you know, that's one payment.
Mhm.
And, so I know what happened there. So I look at everything
right,
and then
Yeah.
I just kind of like, I can determine, you know, pretty much what happened, but, you know, there's some people that, sometimes you're gonna call people, you know,
Yeah.
and say, hey,
Yeah.
your taxes are due, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you send a payment? And, you know, they're more than willing to do that, you know, and some people will say, well, thank you for reminding me, cause
Right.
you know, it's like, and we've had comments too, cause we didn't have the sandwich board out
Oh.
front for this last one.
Oh.
Because we couldn't get to the sandbag
Oh.
to anchor it,
Oh.
and it was so windy, and it was like,
frozen in.
yeah, so there was no way we could get to it, so
Oh.
the sandwich board didn't go out.
Yeah. The
And-
sandwich board is very, I like the
It's a
sandwich
good,
board.
it's a good reminder,
Yeah.
yeah.
So unfortunately, we just couldn't get it out for the third payment, but we know it helps.
Mhm.
But, you know, it's on Facebook, we talk about it in the meetings and,
But that lack of payment for that third payment is roughly 50% higher than it typically is.
Yes.
So
yeah,
that's a big change.
yeah.
right.
So I mean, over time, it might be worth looking at the demographics of who's not
Right,
paying and then
Right.
asking whether there are reasons or ways we can
Help,
right.
get a message out or help or whatever. it might be.
exactly, the thought
Right.
behind what it might be.
So this is probably, you know, trivial, but the sump pump in the basement got replaced today.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I had Tom look, well, Friday afternoon I had gone down just to, you know, check, see how much water was on the floor. And, it was humming, so.
Enough.
I pulled the cover up and I could feel the heat, but I couldn't hear the water running
Mm.
out. So we shut it down for the weekend. Brian came over yesterday, looked at it. He goes, yeah, you need a new pump.
Yeah.
Brian Harlow, that is. And so the highway crew took care of it today. One of the guys came down. He went into Brat, got the pump, because I knew that Webb had it. And it got replaced, so we're in better shape.
Good.
The floor is still wet. I think there must be water coming in because now it's in the middle of the building too.
Mm.
So I think we're gonna have to really take a hard look at what's going on down there.
Yeah, yes, and we have done that before, and we did actually pretty extensive work a few
Right,
years ago,
right.
getting the perimeter sloped away. We used to have a lot of water coming in.
Right.
You know, it was an exceptionally wet year last year. It's been very cold, and it's been raining instead of snowing. So I'm not all that surprised.
Yeah,
Not that we shouldn't pay attention to it,
right,
but I would say this is, I mean, things are changing, but this is a bit of an anomalous year. We might want to, you know, wait it out before we do anything.
yeah, we'll wait it out
Drastic.
anyway, cause it's not like I have the money like
Right.
stashed away that we can do anything about it. But just looking at this driveway and seeing all the gravel, how it's
Yeah.
coming, you know, this way.
Yeah.
So that's a problem, but, there's, you know, stormwater's gonna have to be addressed at some point.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
No more bad news. Ballots. I went from good to bad, you see that? Ballots, so 202 have come back. 170 were town ballots and 32 are school ballots.
Come back, i.e. undeliverable,
No,
or have been,
have gone through the
Okay.
town clerk's
Yeah,
office,
okay.
yep, and through the machine.
good,
At least 50 have been returned,
okay.
so,
Yeah,
and, yeah, we expect that number might go up a little bit higher, but they
Yeah.
don't have an actual count, they're just kind of
Un-
estimating.
Undeliverable for some
Yes.
reason. Okay.
Yep,
Huh,
yeah,
interesting.
yep,
How many? 50?
at least 50, yeah,
Wow.
so.
out of, what do we have for registered voters now? Pushing
Oh.
1,700?
Yeah, 18,
1802.
I think it was, said
Was it?
Jonathan, yeah. A
So
lot of ballots
It's bumped
went
up a
out,
little
so,
bit, yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
but that gives you an idea of like, you know.
200 at this stage, I would say that's a good number. I mean, hopefully they'll keep
Yeah, I'm
rolling
sure
right
it's
in,
gonna
but
increase.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
But that's quite a few, so that's good.
So that's all I have.
I would also just say, you know, the fact that 200 people have already voted is a continuing, and we all agree on this, a continuing positive argument in my perspective to be mailing out those ballots and
Right,
to do. I mean, you know, that's more response than,
Right.
I strongly agree,
It's
and
good.
secretly hoped we'd break 1,000 this year, because we did 700 last year, right? 700 people.
Yeah.
high 6 or something
Yeah,
like that.
690 something,
Yeah.
right? It would be, I hope every person in town votes. Now, that's
Yeah.
not real, but I wish they would.
Be good,
I
yeah.
wish they would.
Yeah.
You're all set?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good. So next, we're on to select board items for discussion and action. Sandglass Theater review and approval of resolution for grant submittal. So this is a grant that we have looked at and discussed approving in the past, but never did a resolution because it wasn't quite prepared. Is that,
No.
or
So
is this a different one?
this is a second resolution.
Okay.
So the first application was denied.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And they were purchasing computers
Computer
for like
equipment, yeah.
$5,700. This request is for $15,000
Okay.
for computers, monitors, and keyboards. It's a big process. There's a lot of different forms that need to be filled out. And so I created a new resolution with a new date. And so I'm requesting that the board review and approve it, because it is part of the application package.
So I'll just quickly read it.
Sure.
So this is a resolution of the Select Board of the Town of Putney agreeing to apply for financial assistance with the United States Department of Agriculture Rural Business Development Grant to finance Sandglass Theater for equipment. Be it further resolved that the Select Board of the Town of Putney authorizes Karen M. Astley, Town Manager, and Jonathan Johnson, Town Clerk Notary, to sign all documents relating to the USD Rural Business Development Grant. So moved?
So moved.
Yep,
And
second.
seconded, okay. So it has been moved and seconded to adopt this resolution. Is there any further discussion?
Nope, I'm good.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Do we just sign one of these copies?
Yeah, yeah.
There's one in that.
There's one there?
And here,
Yes.
Okay.
Uh-huh. Have a little pink
It's
ring
not
on it.
marked, yeah, she's hiding it from us.
Mhm.
Big agenda.
You could,
Oh, that is
I
fine. Okay.
gathered them somehow. Okay, so next would be Development Review Board request for appointment.
So in your packet, there is a request by Vanessa Vadine.
Yeah.
To be appointed to the Development Review Board. At this point, it would be an alternate position.
Yeah.
Because they do have 5, and we did reduce that to 5. I'm still waiting for Larry Slison's office to review and come back with any comments on the resolution,
Oh, okay.
you know,
Right,
reducing.
the reduction.
Yes.
So are we just considering this, or do you want us to move, and do you have, Pip is the chair of that.
Pip is the chair, and I do have an email here from him, and I would recommend that we discuss an executive session
Okay,
And then whether or not a decision is made, we can make the announcement after.
okay, and we may have to, wait on opinion from council also possibly. I don't know whether that's related or not, but, yeah,
Probably not for this particular
Yeah.
thing.
okay. Okay, so we'll table that for the moment. So next is Affordable Housing Advisory Committee request to appoint.
So in your packet, I have a request from Michael Maricki, the chair of the Affordable Housing Committee, to appoint Lisa Chase to the Housing Committee. At the moment, the charge is a 5-person board, or committee, sorry. And there are already 5 members on that committee. So it's Pep, Josh, Mike, Laura, and Eva.
Yes.
Eva Munden.
Um,
So technically, we cannot appoint Lisa at this point unless somebody wants to step down.
I mean, I haven't been active on the committee partly because of my potential conflict with the current discussions that have been going on in that committee related to the Wyndham Windsor Housing Trust project, but also just because I haven't been active on it. So I don't need to be on it, and I would. So is it? It's limited to 5, or it's a minimum of 5?
No, it's limited.
Limited to
Yeah,
5.
the maximum
I
is
think
5.
I need to speak upstairs.
Who is that?
Excuse me,
Can you announce yourself?
Elizabeth Warner.
Hi, Elizabeth. Okay.
Hi. So I have a comment regarding the Affordable Housing Committee. I think since Mike Marwicki has put it as the only task of the Affordable Housing Committee is to discuss the Wyndham Windsor Housing project on the land that Josh is part owner. As a part owner and the conflict of interest, that he should not be a member at this time.
I didn't quite catch all of
I
that.
did not.
Yeah,
Sorry.
we didn't get good sound. I have not been attending, so it's not. It hasn't been a conflict because I haven't been attending. I'm comfortable not being a member of that committee, but I'm not sure this is the time and the moment to take that step. I don't know.
We'll, the next meeting we'll be doing some reorganization, right? And don't we also reappoint
Yes,
Right.
good
people?
point.
Reappoint, so
Good
that
point.
might be a better
Yeah,
time to
So
do
let's do
that.
that.
Anyway, yeah.
Okay.
So I would just say thank you, Lisa, for your interest and willingness to serve on this committee, and we will consider your appointment at our first full meeting of the select board after town meeting.
Yeah,
Okay.
makes sense.
Good point, thank you,
Good thing.
Ellen. Okay. So next on our agenda would be the public informational meeting for February 26, 2022 via Zoom platform. And I wish I could be there with you all, but.
I don't know, we're having a big storm on Friday. and
Oh,
we're gonna
that's
make
true.
it over the mountain.
So David and Eileen, you up for it?
No problem.
Sure.
I brought party favors, you're gonna miss.
So, yeah, I just kind of wanted to put that out on the agenda so we can make the announcement.
Yeah, I mean, we've already talked about it. Yeah, I haven't. What is the status of that storm? Do we
It's gonna
know?
be over by Friday.
Yeah,
night,
Thursday to
midnight.
Friday.
It will be.
Yeah.
Okay, so we should
We should be
have no problem having a meeting on
Right.
Saturday. And just a reminder, it'll be us, the select board, and Karen and BCTV present,
And Emily will be there.
and Emily
And
will be
Meg.
there, and Meg.
And Meg.
Meg?
No,
Meg?
Meg's gonna be here.
Oh,
Next
it's
week
gonna be
here, okay.
Okay.
So Meg, Cassandra, Kim, and John will all be at town hall.
Okay.
And, no, okay. We are not required to have a public location, a location where the public can attend, is that
No,
correct? Or
it's
are
it's a hybrid. It's a hybrid meeting and, because of Act 78.
So we're exempt from having to have a public setting where we can
Right.
attend, because,
Right.
yeah. Okay,
So the public will be all online?
Yes.
Regardless of
Exactly.
where, okay.
Correct.
Okay.
okay, so yes, so we should be good for Saturday.
In your packet too, Josh, is, the agenda.
Yeah.
And I put some time limits to each item. And at the moment, it's looking like other business will be around 3 o'clock. I do expect that some will probably go faster than others. And,
Oh, I see.
Okay.
I did put a half an hour each on the budgets.
Okay.
And
Which
everything-
is really hard to predict, because sometimes it takes a long time and sometimes it takes 4 minutes.
Right.
But like we were talking before, Karen, there's a bunch of these articles that are piggybacked on other articles.
Right,
That shouldn't
Right.
take, that the discussion of which most of it could have happened in the
Will be
article
on the first
before.
article, right, yeah.
And so hopefully those will be shorter.
the other thing too with public informational meeting is it's not, although it's not in-person town meeting like a floor vote. So,
Right.
limiting, not that I wanna limit conversation, but I think we can,
Right, we're not changing things from the floor, so it's
Right.
people,
Right.
the
So it's-
opportunity, exactly. People
Right,
have
it's
the opportunity
informational.
to ask questions,
it's informational,
but we're not discussing,
Right.
there is not an effort to,
changing,
To rewrite
Exactly.
anything.
right,
because we are unable to do that at this
Right.
point, because those ballots have already been sent, and
Yeah,
as we
some have
found
been
out,
present
some have
back,
already
yep.
been voted.
Yep.
Yeah, so,
Also, I just wanna make a comment because Newfane Select Board last night had their public informational during their meeting,
uh-huh,
and Dummerston is doing the same thing tonight.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm looking at our agenda going, how in the world did they do that?
yeah, I mean, it'll
mean-
depend a lot on how many people show up,
Participation,
and,
right.
and also, I mean, you have, I think, appropriately allocated roughly 15 minutes per
Yes.
article.
Yeah,
Uh,
yes,
A number of these may have no questions at all. So
Right.
we, again, we may spend half an hour on some and
yeah,
3 minutes on others. So, and I agree with you, we don't want to limit questions
Right.
and opportunities for people to speak, but we also don't need to spend inordinate amounts of time just because we have to allocate. So we'll see how it goes.
yes,
But, Meg will be doing her thing throughout, moderating, and last year, I think it was efficient and effective last year, so hopefully it'll be the same.
I don't feel like anybody didn't get to speak that wanted to speak. And
Right.
there wasn't any time where anything was belabored
right,
any longer than it needed to be. I felt like it went really well.
And it wasn't contentious.
Exactly, yep.
So, but that point you made about we can't change things, so.
right,
I think the important thing is that people have the opportunity to ask the questions they want to ask in order to help them make up their mind if they haven't already made up their mind.
yeah.
So,
We also have purchased extra seats for Saturday. And there's a toll-free number, so if somebody's coming in by telephone, they should be able to get in at no charge.
Okay.
So,
and the information about how to access this, where is that posted?
it is on our website under the town clerk tab. And if you go to annual town meeting, there's a whole page with a lot of different information.
Okay.
and, you know, the Zoom login. There's the sheriff's letters on there, the Putney Huddle, Selectboard forum is on there, so people should take a look at that. And the audit is on there. So,
I think there was a little piece of paper that came in with the ballots as well that had the Zoom.
This information.
You can't
Yes.
click on it, but
Good.
at least it's there.
right.
Yeah. Wait, what?
You right? Doesn't hurt.
Okay, good. And if you have any questions or concerns about having access, as Karen said, people will be here John will be here.
John Johnson is gonna be the tech person.
Will be here to answer questions and or help you if you have trouble.
Yep,
And I'm sure he and Kim are willing, or Karen are willing and able to answer questions in advance of Saturday's meeting if they're able.
right, yes.
So please reach out if you need help. All right. So that's that for that. So other business, is there any other business that comes for discussion or action? I don't see anything.
Changed. Oh. No, I guess we're good.
That just shifted. Message here, okay, so executive session, sounds like we need a brief executive
Yes.
session, and we will,
Dave, you wanna run off the title?
I enter executive session under 1 VSA 3133.
okay,
I'll second.
okay, it's been moved and seconded to enter executive session, and we will presumably be inviting town manager Karen Astley to join us. If there's no further discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and we will, I don't think Austin probably needs to stay.
he
We
does
will
not.
notify you of any decisions made and let you know. So, other than that, our next meeting date is March 2nd, which is,
Well, let's do Saturday first, is February 26th,
of course, yeah.
public informational meeting,
At
and then
10 a.m.
10 a.m., yes.
And then our next quote unquote, well, it's not a regular meeting. Our next meeting will be March 2nd,
It's
which is
special
a
meeting.
week from tonight.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that this board is okay with March 2nd as a reorganization
Aye.
meeting.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can do that.
Okay, I wasn't
Yeah.
sure, you might be on vacation,
Sure.
we don't need to ask David.
No.
David, are you okay
I'm
with us
totally
being
fine
on
with
March
it.
2nd?
Yeah.
I think I'm fine, I'm better with it than anything so far.
Okay,
Yeah.
so 1 week from tonight, we will be having a probably relatively brief
Sure.
select board meeting
Yes.
at 5:30 in order to reorganize and have some limited discussion probably. All right, thank you very much, and we will be adjourning later. All right,
Right.
thanks,
Thank you,
Austin.
Austin.
Thank you.